To protest the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Bucks started the action by refusing to take the floor for their playoff game against the Orlando Magic, a move that sparked similar action across the entire sports world. Marc Lasry is the owner of the Bucks, joins us now exclusively. It's his first interview on the subject. Marc, it's good to see you again.
My pleasure. Great to talk to you.
Can you give me and give our viewers an idea of how all of this went down last week behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think what ended up happening is George Hill felt that he shouldn't play, mainly because, what happened was in our state. And I think then the rest of the players followed suit. And that's really how it all came about. And then afterwards, we set up a call with the Wisconsin Attorney General and the Lieutenant Governor for the players to speak about what they were thinking and how to bring about change.
Yeah. When did you first find out that there were thoughts among your team not to take the floor that day?
I think I found out probably just a few minutes before everybody else did. I think the players met and they talked in the locker room, and the game was supposed to start, and I think I got a call about a minute or two before other people found out. So found out pretty much the same time as everybody else did.
Yeah, and what were your thoughts when you did hear that?
I was surprised, but at the end of the day, I was supportive of what the players were doing. I felt it's their right, and they have a voice, and they should be able to utilize that voice.
Do you think that all of the other owners in the league, I'm sure you have some perspective on this. I don't know if there was a league-wide owners call that you may have been on, or from the owners that you spoke to individually. Owners come from all stripes, as we know, politically and otherwise. Was everybody supportive of the move, not only from the Bucks, but league-wide?
I think everybody I spoke to was supportive. I think the rest of the owners were very supportive. I think at the end of the day, to be honest with you, I think Adam did a phenomenal job in, dealing with what was going on and talking to the players and talking to the owners. So I think I think everybody was in agreement.
I'm wondering how you think about, do you feel as though any part of the walkout or the boycott, and I don't even know what the right word, frankly, is to use. Protest doesn't necessarily seem to be the right word. But do you think that any of that was directed at the owners themselves for not maybe taking some of the concerns of the players seriously enough?
I don't think so. I think how it started was really with a few players and then the team deciding that because everything happened in Wisconsin, that they felt an obligation to be able to do something and say something. I don't think it had anything to do with the owners. And I think all the discussion with the players afterwards was one of partnership and one of working together. And I think that's what ultimately ended up happening, and why the game started right back after about 2 or 3 days.
Can you shed any light on how close, in your mind, the season was to being completely over?
Yeah, I mean, look, from where I was, I don't think I think there was absolutely a risk, but I don't know what that risk was, how large it was. I wasn't in the meetings with the players, so I think it was ultimately their decision as to whether they were going to play or not. At least from what I've heard, I think you had, a large group of players who wanted to continue, but they wanted to feel that, that they could still be heard. And I think that's actually what's been happening. I think, by playing, they have a platform and people will be paying attention. I think by not playing, it becomes a little bit more difficult.
Can you shed any light on the role that Michael Jordan was said to play as a liaison, if you will, between the players and the owners?
Yeah, I think Michael Jordan, just because of who he is, he has a tremendous amount of respect with the players and with the owners. And I think he's probably uniquely qualified out of everybody to be able to speak to players because he was one, and to be able to speak to the owners. So I think Michael had great advice for all of us, which was really to listen and to pay attention to what people were saying. I think Michael was instrumental in getting a lot of this done.
Is that right? He encouraged the players to use the platform that they had to continue to play, but also for the owners to be understanding about what the players' message was trying to be?
I think so. I think at the end of the day, Michael was able to speak to everyone, and everybody was able to listen to Michael because of who he is.